Welcome, my Brazilian friends. Today I have 4 great questions and then my take on how to buy a car in the United States. What are my expectations of the new house that we're making? What habits does Renato have from Brazil? The structure of American houses as compared to bedrooms and bathrooms. What's it like to live Renato after the work hours? This and more on today's episode. So let's run the intro. Welcome, my Brazilian friends. So let's just start off with the first question. The first question comes from Eleanor Fernandez. And she writes, Alex, what are your expectations for the new house? Are you excited about the move? Yes, very excited about the move. Although it is taking several months for us to get the house ready to move in, it is nice to be able to go through and get everything exactly the way we desire. As you have seen from the other videos, we have turned out most of the walls and are able to really place things exactly where we want. So Renato is in charge of making things beautiful for the flow inside the house, the aesthetics, the furniture, and I am more the technical, how we're going to make the house smart. We might have some special surprises on the smart house side, but I'm trying my best to make it the 21st century. So some of the things I'm very excited about is the view from the grand room and the kitchen and dining room. I consider our house kind of a A-frame in the middle with 2 wings on the side for bedrooms. So the main living area is in the middle where the kitchen and the fireplace is, and behind the fireplace is the living room where we'll be able to sit and chit chat with people. I really like that we'll have the ability to sit at the kitchen counter and be able to look out at the beautiful view. There are many times that I've already experienced a lot of wildlife who loves the front of our yard because it has wonderful bushes, flowers, wonderful grass for it to eat. So I'm really looking forward to being able to capture a lot of those things. One of the things that I really like in the kitchen is instead of the bar stools being all on one side, we will have bar stools on 2 sides. So if we do not feel like we want to eat at the table, we'll be able to eat at the bar and still be able to face each other, which is really nice. It's also going to be a up-level version of what I call our media room, where our TV is going to be. Some of you might remember that I used to be a disc jockey back in the day, and so I really love music. And so the media room is going to be over-amplified with speakers for the ability to play music and really have a movie theater experience in the media room, which I'm really looking forward to. Another room that I'm also excited about is we'll have an in-house gym. Although the room is not going to be gym size like you would be able to go at a standalone place, I believe we'll be able to fit in at least 2 or 3 multifaceted machines to be able to get a good workout without having to leave the house, which is really going to be nice for me, as I find myself having time to work out not at traditional times where I would have to load into the car and go somewhere. It'll be nice when I have an extra 30, 45 minutes just to be able to walk down the hall and be able to complete that. Another room, or really it's an area, is our back porch. I love every evening to sit on the back porch and look at the pool and scroll through social media and just kind of relax after a heavy day. And so having an outside space that is beautiful is going to be very nice as well. Our new back porch is twice the depth, and I think the view is going to be a little better as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the last room that we've spent a lot of time talking about and rearranging, probably more than anything, is the new primary suite bathroom. We're going to have a steam room, which is going to be very nice. I had to really choose between having another hot tub like I have now or a steam room. And I think for the use and maintenance and time, that a steam room might fit us better. However, that does not exclude the possibility of me getting a hot tub later down the road, as our pool enclosure area is quite large this time as well. So those are the things that I'm really looking forward to in the new house. I remember when we first moved to the neighborhood, we would walk our dogs when they had the ability to walk that far. We would walk past this house every time. And I would make Renato walk a little bit further so we could walk directly in front of the house because I loved it so much. So it was always kind of in the back of my head that I would love to live in a house like that, but then to have my dream come true and actually live in the house is going to be fantastic for me. So we're really looking forward to that. We will see what that timeline develops. They're working very hard almost every day. It is hard not to go by every day and look at everything and ask for a little change here and a little change there. Sometimes your worst customers are yourself, and me and Renato are trying not to be that for the people who are graciously working on our house. Great question. Question number 2. The second question comes from Tammy Tunis, and she writes, Alex, which of Renato's Brazilian habits stand out to you the most because it goes differently from the American culture? So Tammy, the 3 specific things that I would like to talk about that I had to get used to with Renato, first certainly is the cleaning regiment. When we first moved in together, I was used to having a day of cleaning. My day of cleaning would usually last 3 hours, maybe 4 at the most. Renato's definition of the day cleaning is 8 hours, 10 hours worth of cleaning. Granted, I had lived by myself with a cat, so the traffic through my house and the dirt, not as great as living with 3 dogs and many people coming through the house. Was it worth another 6 hours of my life to get to that level of cleanliness every week? I say no. But I love Renato, so 10 hours it was. Another thing I found very different is the cooking philosophy. I had noticed when I was in Brazil and we went to grocery stores or food stores, most of the items on the shelf were basic cooking ingredients. So you would have a bag of beans, you would have a bag of flour, a bag of sugar. And Brazilians, I think, are more accustomed to taking raw ingredients and putting them together and making the dish. In the United States, if you go to a lot of grocery stores, you will see most of the aisles are filled with cans and boxes where all you have to do is add water or maybe milk or dump a can into a pan and heat it up. So you'll find most Americans are used to heating up items. A good comparison is in the frozen food section. In the United States, there will be 4 or 5 rows of frozen food that all you have to do is heat up. And in Brazil, you might have 2 rows of maybe things that are long-term storage items. And I'm not sure if that is because Americans' time where most households, both parents work now, and there is less time to prepare meals for family, so it is much easier to pop something into the microwave that is pre-prepared, or Brazilian society values family time in the evening and that social time together and having that healthy meal. That would be interesting. It'd be great to have your comments down in the comments about why you think maybe Americans are more fast food driven versus the Brazilians, which are more cooked from scratch. And the last is Renato does have the Brazilian way in him as well. Now, I've talked about the Brazilian way before, so I'll give you 3 examples of Renato's Brazilian way. So we had the opportunity to go to Rome, to the Vatican, to see the 16th Chapel. I probably pronounced that wrong. And before you enter, when you buy the ticket, it's clearly written, no photographs in the chapel. Before you enter the room, there is a person there who will tell you, remember, no photographs. And so Renato gets into the chapel, looks up, gets his camera out. Luckily, it wasn't over his head taking pictures, but we certainly got some pictures of the chapel until a prompter had to come over to remind him not to take pictures. Another example is when we were in Frankfurt. We were touring a hotel, and there were some rooms that clearly were marked staff only, no public access. However, Renato, I guess because it was his second language, decided that rule did not apply to him, so he certainly felt enabled to go through the door and see what was behind it. Soon we were planning a trip to Newport, and one of the places that he wants to go is a converted mansion that is now a school. And almost every video, and we've watched many videos, when people talk about the old mansion that is now converted to the school, they say now that it is a private school, there is one area in the administrative building that you are able to go into and look around, but the rest of the campus is closed to the public. And so when Renato said that he wanted to go tour that one room, I instinctively told him, while you are visiting the campus, I will go to a coffee shop that is close by, maybe catch up on work emails as you will tour the campus, because I know you will think that you are a student and you will go visit every other building there. That disturbs me, it makes me very nervous to do those type of things. So I will let Renato have the people ask him not to, and I will stay in the safety of a coffee house during that time. Another example of how sometimes he makes me nervous is during our German trip. There was a castle on the very top of a mountain, and all the information that we could get on Google Maps was bike trails and walking trails to go to the very top. It was about a mile probably to the top straight, so switchbacks probably a mile and a half, meant for bicycles, maybe four-wheel drive Jeeps if you're lucky. We were in a BMW X5, and while it was probably four-wheel drive, the road was not made for it. But did we drive up anyway? Well, certainly, because Renato was driving, and no is really sometimes not in his vocabulary. So there were many times where I had to get out of the car to make sure that the tires were going to stay on the road and for us not to slip off. Made me very nervous. But we made it up and got back down safely. But those are certainly some examples that I have. The next question comes from Raquel Lasarda. She asks, Alex, why do so many houses have multiple bedrooms but fewer bathrooms and often without double sinks? Wouldn't it make more sense to have more suites instead, especially considering how spacious these homes are? From your perspective, especially being married to Renato, do you think these Brazilian way of thinking makes sense? Yes, it does make sense. And I wish every house in the United States bedroom would have its own bathroom or own suite. But we're probably looking at scales. So most houses in the United States are 3 to 4 bedroom houses, 2 to maybe 3 bathrooms at maximum for cost of construction. Many houses in the United States are built by one builder for a whole entire neighborhood. So they'll have 4 or 5 floor plans that they'll build out throughout the neighborhood. And while they'll change the elevation, or what some people would call what the front of the house looks like, the inside many times are the same 3 or 4 floor plans. And those floor plans are mostly based on costs. Sometimes I joke about builder grade instead of finish grade, which in my definition means that the cheapest sink that they can provide, that is what they're going to put in. The cheapest toilet. And so when you're looking at the cost of a sink versus a double sink, a sink costs much cheaper. It is almost as if the builders have the philosophy, we will give them the basic box, and if they want to upgrade or improve, they can call a designer like Renato, and then we'll make the house really livable and desirable. I think many Americans will just move into the house. I think as well, most bathrooms in the United States is one room where the toilet and the bathtub and the sink are all in one room. You have to go kind of to the next level of finishes to have a bathroom have 2 separate rooms, one with the toilet and shower and another one for the sink. I think in that case, having 2 sinks, you'll find more likely, but if you have one room, you'll probably want to have 1 sink. If you have 2 rooms in a bathroom, I think most of the time you'll find that it'll have 2 sinks in it. Question number 4, asked by Juliana Ribeiro. She asks, Alex, what is it like working with Renato while also being his husband? Are you able to separate work from personal life? That is something that we struggle with at the beginning quite a bit. Luckily, in our division of labor, it is very different division of labor. I believe I've talked about I do most of the back office work, the accounting, payroll, maintenance on the office, IT specialist, customer service. We do take care of rentals. So I'm the lead point of contact for rentals, maintenance for those rentals, first point of contact for agents if they have questions. I supervise our transaction coordinator. His name is Kadu. Do returns from design that are big ticket items. I register us for new vendors so we can get better pricing for our clients. If there is state requirements and regulations, I take care of the monthly maintenance and quarter statements to state and federal governments for our business. Is a short list of some of the things that I do. Certainly Renato does the sale, he does the design, he leads the furnishings, he goes out with the clients for the stores to pick all those items. So certainly those things work hand in hand for each other, but are very different. It is only when you get to the executive suite type conversations, what are our 2026 goals for the company, where in December do we want our head count, how many transactions do we want, what are those divisions, are most of the conversations that we have outside of the office. So usually up until the time that we have dinner, it is kind of open season to mix personal and work, but we have a pretty firm rule that after we eat dinner, there's no work talk. I will take notes of things that I'll want to talk to Renato about the next day, but that's one of the ways that we try to separate work life and personal life is after dinner, it is just personal. Anything up into including dinner can be work at time, although we try to really schedule it just during work time. But it's something that we always kind of talk about. So it's a pretty good division of time, and we're flexible about that. There are certainly times that he'll get a telephone call at 8 o'clock, or I'll get a phone call at 8 o'clock, and a decision will have to be made. So we'll make that decision. Great question. And the bonus thing that I kind of want to talk about today is buying a new car in the United States. This is part of my series of helping educate Brazilians on the American way. Now this is more particularly aimed at buying a new vehicle in the United States. Buying a used vehicle has a separate path. But when people ask me about buying a new vehicle in the United States, this is a high-level view of the path that I advise people kind of look at. First is the difference between shopping for a car and buying the car. Really, it is two separate activities. I believe that first you need to get down your choices of maybe 2 or 3 exact vehicles that you want to purchase. It'll be important that you'll know what is called the VIN number or the security number of the vehicle. So in the first couple of days or visits when you go to dealerships or you look online, you're truly trying to narrow it down to an exact vehicle. Not a philosophy of the vehicle, but the vehicle that you absolutely want. Once you have identified the true vehicle that you want and you have done your due diligence for the background of, is it reliable? What have other people said about it? Is there a lot of recalls? Does it break down a lot? What are the type of warranties that come with that manufacturer? Once you know all those things, then you can go to the next stage, which is preparing to go in and negotiate for the car. Now, when you're buying a car, it is really split up in my mind into two different periods of time. The first is the negotiation of what is called the out-the-door price for the vehicle. So you will have the vehicle price. You will have the add-ons that the dealer will want to put on to the vehicle. You'll have additional things like maybe floor mats do not come with the car and you would like floor mats. Well, that's going to be an extra charge. So my advice is when you're negotiating the price is find out what the out-the-door price is going to be. So that is going to include the taxes. That is going to include any of the dealer fees. That is going to include the price of the car. So all those things is one negotiation. Now, to help you with that negotiation, there are websites where you're able to put in the exact VIN number of the car that you are going to go and negotiate with. And some of the things that those websites that you will want to be able to find is how long has that dealership owned that vehicle on the lot? For most car companies, car dealerships get 90 days to be able to sell a car before it costs the dealership additional money every month to hold that car to sell. So a lot of dealerships, they'll want to sell that car in the first 90 days. So by knowing how long that car has been on the lot, if it's over 90 days, you will know that they will probably be more willing to negotiate as they have not been able to sell that car in the regular time amount that they're expecting to sell. Another piece of information on those websites is going to give what type of manufacturer rebate is the car dealership going to have. Now, legally, they don't have to disclose that to you. So if you're buying a Honda, sometimes the Honda manufacturer will give a rebate directly to the dealership of maybe $2,000 or $3,000. Now, will that affect the sticker price that you're going to see on the car? No, they will not disclose that. But if you have that information, you will know that they're getting an additional $2,000 to buy down that car, which will give you more power to be able to know exactly what to ask for it. Many of those websites will give you a range of this would be a great price for you to get to this is a satisfactory price, but don't pay more than this because they're most likely making more money on you than probably you should. So having that piece of information before you go in is very valuable, so you will know truly what the range of the true cost or what range that you should offer for the car. That will also show them that you have done some research and due diligence, and they will treat you most likely a little different than trying to play the salesmanship game because salesmen, of course, are trying to make the most profit possible off of every deal, and you as a consumer are trying to pay the least. So if you're able to educate yourself before you go in of the true cost of that car to the dealership, then that is going to give you an advantage because the dealership knows exactly how much money they can sell that car for and still make a profit. You should also have those numbers as well. The second part, after you have negotiated the price and the salesman has gone back and forth with the sales manager on a price before the sales manager finally comes out to shake your hand and say, yes, we'll sell it to you at this price, they will then take you to the second stage of buying a car, which is the finance department. Now I'm going to say this twice. The finance department in a car dealership makes just as much money as selling the car. So when you buy a car from a dealership, the dealership will make money selling you the car, and they will make money financing the car for you. They will make, most of the time, just as much money financing the car as they do selling you the car. So being prepared for financing is going to be very important. One of the questions in the first stage is they'll ask you, do you have financing? Because in their mind, they're trying to determine, are we going to be able to make more money on the second part of the sale? Or am I going to have to make all my money up front because they're not going to use our financing? Knowing your value as a client for your ability to finance a car is going to be very important. I would suggest going to your local bank or the bank that you bank with, or going to a third party outside the dealership and applying for a loan to be able to see what your credit worthiness is. You might find that you have great credit and your interest rate should be at the very bottom. When you apply for those loans through your bank or a different lending institution, they will tell you what your interest rate is. And so you will kind of know where that interest rate is. So if the car dealership, they will try to finance you, and then you'll be able to compare what your interest rate from your bank is versus the interest rate of the dealership. Now, some dealerships, the manufacturer will have special financing. Sometimes they'll have 0% financing or 2% financing, depending on the car market at the time. So if cars are not selling very well, or manufacturers will have special financing, and you will save a lot of money for that. The next piece of the financing is, how much does it cost to originate that loan? There are fixed costs to be able to lend money from the lending institution. The underwriting fee, the whatever fees that they are going to call them, whoever is going to lend you money is going to have an amount of money that it's going to take to be able to do all the paperwork in the back office, to be able to fund it, to send the checks in the mail, is going to be a set cost. Be very careful in the finance department to look and compare what it costs to originate the financing versus what it costs from your private institution. Could be a couple $100, which could be the difference between what the interest rate you could have had and the interest rate that they are offering you if you amortize that out. So really knowing your worth, getting a second opinion before you go into that financing department to make sure what they're offering you is what you could get somewhere else. And with those two things, you will be set up for much more success. Hopefully you'll have less buyer's remorse after you drive off the lot, knowing that you truly got a good deal because you have been validated by a third party. Now, I have a list of a couple of those websites that you can get the information in that first part of what the average cost is, the rebate, how long that model or that particular car has been on the lot. If that is something that you're interested in, please leave a comment in the bottom, and maybe I will private message you and give you that link, or maybe peg that comment at the very top. I hope that helps to learn Alex's American way. I hope that is of a great value to you. that's all for today. I look forward to seeing you next month. Until then, ciao, ciao.
Can you say...
Testing, 1, 2, 3. How is my mic level?
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor as well as my privilege.
Can you say Alex Responde 107?
Alex Responds, 107.
Do you want Vincent?
No. I'll come up with my own Vincent someday. I'm gonna retread your Vincent. Oh.
Tá gravando, Dani? Vai gravando essas conversas.
Oh. Can you help me with these pronunciations a little bit before I have to butcher them? All these.
Eleanor
Eleanor
Fernandes. Tammy Antunes.
Antunes.
Yes.
Okay.
Raquel
Raquel
Lacerda. Say Lacerda.
Lacerda.
Raquel.
Raquel Lacerda.
Yes.
All right.
Juliana.
Oh, Juliana, I know that.
Ribeiro. Porque se falar Ribeiro, ele nunca vai conseguir pronunciar Ribeiro. Ribeiro. Say Ribeiro.
Ribeiro. Okay.
Something like that.
All right. Antes de encerrar o vídeo, eu queria fazer um pedido muito especial. A ONG Amigos de São Francisco está prestes a realizar um grande sonho: comprar definitivamente o sítio em Ibiúna, onde hoje acolhe centenas de cães e gatos resgatados do abandono. O valor é de R$360 mil e já foi arrecadado 80%. Agora falta apenas 20% para que esse lar seja realmente deles. Desde 2012, a ONG já transformou a vida de mais de 2.000 animais. Muitos foram adotados, mas outros, especialmente os mais velhinhos, provavelmente passarão o resto da vida no abrigo. E é justamente por eles que essa conquista é tão importante. Se o sítio não for comprado, todos correm o risco de perder o único lar que têm. Por isso, eu peço a sua ajuda. Não importa o valor, qualquer contribuição faz diferença. A sua doação pode significar dignidade, segurança e amor até o último dia de cada um desses animais. Vamos juntos unir forças e transformar esse sonho em realidade.